Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today's layout is for Mixed Media Frenzy, which is when a group of my scrappy friends and I get together and pick a layout or sketch to be inspired by. And this on the screen here is the layout we have picked for this week, and we've also invited a load of our scrappy friends along to join us in this hop. So in the Facebook group, the last Friday of the month, we invite other members to join in with our hops. So you will find the links to all their channels in the description box below. Please do pop along and view their videos as well. We're all working from the same layout. I'm using a collection by P13 called When We First Met. So I did a bit of prep work before hitting record. I've fussy cut lots of florals out from one of the patterned papers. And I've also got these chipboard pieces in the centre here. Now these are left over from, I've got a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard that's got different sized circular frames within it. And these are the bits that are left over once you take the actual frames themselves out. And I thought rather than bin them, I would try and use them. So I'm going to use them for this layout. So I've picked a background paper there from the When We First Met collection, and I wanted to add a bit more detail to it and kind of grunge it up a bit. So I've got this stamp here that's got some script and a butterfly on it, and I'm using black Stays On ink because I'm going to add a little bit of mixed media as well. And I've just applied a couple of those to the background. And then I'm coming in with a scripty stamp by XOXO, and I'm just going around adding some of that detail as well. I'm sticking to the diagonal design of the original, and then I'm adding some of the stamping around the edge of my paper as well, just to add a bit more interest. Now when I started this layout, I wasn't sure what direction it would take. I'm not going to lie, the original terrified me when I saw it and thought, how the hell am I going to do that? But actually once I got into it, I really enjoyed it, and I absolutely adore the finished layout. But yeah, as I started, I didn't really know how it was going to come together, so I haven't applied any gesso or anything to my background. In hindsight, I should have done, but because I wasn't sure where I was going to go with it, I didn't. And adding the wet mixed media was kind of a spur of the moment decision. So I've pulled out some distress inks. The first colour I added is called Pumice Stone. Then I've added a bit of purple, which is Dusty Concord, and then this blue here is Chipped Sapphire. Now I've not gone mad because I haven't gessoed this, and it is just patterned paper, it's not thick cardstock. Although the pattern papers in this collection are quite thick, I didn't want to overload it with water. So I've added a tiny bit of mixed media with the packaging technique, and then I've just come in with splatters. And I'm using a little bit of sequin waste here as a stencil and adding some of the purple Dusty Concord Distress ink. So the original layout has a lot of purple in it, and I'm actually going to stick pretty close to that colour scheme. I really love the colour. I love the look of the original layout. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I love the colourway of it. I was just terrified of having to try and scrap lift it and recreate it, but I actually think it's stunning, so I'm going to stick as close to it as I can. So I've also added some of the chipped sapphire through the sequin waste as well to add a little bit more colour to my background. And as you can see, I've kind of got that diagonal design going on. And then I've got my photo there of my little boy holding a vase of tulips in my back garden. I printed the photo off twice. I've got black and white and colour because I wasn't sure if the colour would work or not. But I reached for the black and white first and actually really like how it looked. So I didn't even try and make the colour work. I just went straight in for the black and white. And then I've got these fussy cut flowers here that are from the P13 collection, and I've also got some paper flowers that are I don't know if they're for paper crafting or floristry, I'm really not sure. I've had them for years. They've got metal wires on the back of them, so I've poked some holes through my background paper there and just pushed those through, and then I can secure those on the back in a minute. But for now I'm just getting everything stuck down And I'm using glossy accents to stick these flowers down just to make sure they definitely do hold. Considering how terrified I was to get going with this layout, I put it off for a good week or two because I was just really did not know how I was going to do it justice or make it work for me. But once I'd actually sat down and got going with this layout, I think I actually created this in less than an hour, which is really surprising for me because I am a notoriously slow scrapper. It takes me forever. I can't make decisions and I faff about and push papers around a lot. But this layout, I'd pre-cut everything out ready beforehand, and then it literally just was a case of putting things on the page, and I was instantly happy with where I'd put things, so I just stuck it all down whilst I could. So it actually came together really quickly. So all my flowers are now in place, and I've stuck my chipboard down as well with glossy accents. I'm just going to add some white cardstock behind my photo, and that just helps to give it a border and a little bit of separation from that background. It just needed something to finish it off really. I wanted to add a patterned paper layout behind it as well. I couldn't find a paper that would work, and I didn't want to cut into anything new that I could have used for a full 12 by 12. I didn't really want to cut into it just to mat a photo. So I had a bit of a think, and in the end I just decided to just stay with the white. It gave it the separation I was looking for. I think in the original they've literally just stuck the photo on, they haven't even got any white frames or anything around it. So I stuck pretty close again there. I've just used the white, and now I'm just sticking the last few floral bits down around the corner of my photo there. And that chipboard in the middle, I'm going to leave it raw. I'm not going to paint it or add any mixed media or anything to it. The floral clusters that I fussy cut from the pattern papers have got some kind of sort of tones of the same colour as the chipboard, so I thought it went okay and decided I wasn't going to do anything with it. I was just going to leave it as is. I've also cut those aeroplanes out from one of the papers, and I really wanted to get one of them on here because I'm not sure when I'm ever going to use them. But I just couldn't make them work on this layout. They were the wrong size, so they unfortunately are back in my stash waiting to be used. What you saw me do there was just cutting off the excess from the metal that's coming through, the wire that comes through the back of those flowers. So I just cut the excess off and then added some tape over the back just to cover that sharp edge and make sure that those flowers are secured. And then I'm just adding the last few floral clusters. So like I said, this layout came together so quick. It's literally just a case of putting things down and sticking. They kind of just fell into place really, so really pleased with how this came out. I'm actually considering framing this layout because it does have a lot of texture and dimension. I've used a lot of foam pads, and those paper flowers with the wire coming out the back of them are really dimensional. So I do love this layout, so I think it might be one that ends up in a box frame on the wall somewhere in my house. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this one. I hate putting really pretty layouts away, like my absolute favourite ones. I hate putting them in albums because I don't often flick through my albums, so they don't really get looked at. So ones that I really love, I do like to frame. So now I'm going to add some colour to those paper flowers, and I'm sticking with the same two colours because they work really well with this collection. So that's Dusty Concord and Chipped Sapphire. And I've just put a bit of the inks onto some packaging and mixed it with a bit of water, and I'm just using a paintbrush to paint that directly onto the flowers. I haven't applied gesso or anything to the flowers. Probably could have done because the paint really did soak into the leaves, but it's actually dried really well onto them, so yeah, it didn't really matter that I didn't use the gesso in the end. So I just add those, and then I come in with a Nuvo Mica Mist. It's a purple shade, and that's just to add a little bit of sparkle as well, and then I use that to add some splatters to my background. I really love how this is coming out. I know I keep saying that, but I just love this layout so much. Considering how scared I was to get going with it, I'm so pleased with how it came out. So my title here, I've got XOXO, and that is from the Maggie Holmes Garden Party collection. The colour of that worked really, really well. I was originally going to go with the gold sticker you see that says Darling, and I was going to bring some more gold tones in, but actually once I'd put it over my layout and saw that XOXO, it went really, really well, so I've gone with that instead, and then added a couple more stickers from that sheet in the same colour. And then just to finish my layout off and add a bit of bling, I've got these gold jewels here, so I'm just taking some time to strategically place those around my clusters. As much as I would love to just sprinkle them on and make it look beautiful, whenever I do that, they never really fall nicely or where I want them to. So I have to kind of disperse them, but make it look as natural as I can. So I'm just going to take some time to do that, and I'm going to do the same with some purple sequins here. They're kind of like a plum colour, and I've got them in 3 or 4 different sizes in this collection, so I'm just going to take some time and sprinkle those as well, and then I'm going to go around with my glossy accents and stick all of those down. And that is the finishing touch for this layout. So that's it all finished once those are stuck down. So thank you very, very much for joining me today. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my work. And please don't forget, in the description box below you will find details for everybody else who's taking part in our hop today, including all our scrappy friends. And I'll also pop a link to the Mixed Media Frenzy Facebook group, so please do head on and join if you're not already a member. We love to see you share your mixed media creations. It doesn't have to be one of our weekly scrap lists, just anything you create with mixed media we love for you to share, so please do hop on and join if you haven't already. For now, I'll leave you with the close-ups, and I'll see you next time.